apology will fix nothing. All I can say is how incredibly remorseful I am.
An emotional day in court.
You took such a beautiful person away. She was loved by so many.
Family members, one by one, addressed the woman who killed their loved one.
I feel like I'm stuck in hell. I wish every day that I died. Do you know what it's like to vow to protect your wife and to do anything for her, and then to lose her hours after that?
For the rest of my life, I'm gonna hate you. And when I arrive in hell and you come there, I'll open the door for you.
A mother's love and heartbreak on full display.
Sam was light. She was love. And she was amazing. It always will be.
Thank you for joining us. New at 6, Folly Beach Department of Public Safety issued a statement after Jamie Komoroski pleaded guilty in a Charleston County courtroom earlier today. The charges stem from a Folly Beach DUI crash that killed bride Samantha Miller on her wedding night, April 2023.
3 others were injured, including Miller's new husband, Eric Hutchinson. In a statement, Police Chief Andrew Gilreath said, quote, "Tragedies like this are preventable and we must work together to keep our roads safe."
And we have team coverage tonight of the sentencing and the family's emotional testimonies.
First, we go to Ann Emerson, who has more details on those charges. Ann?
Well, according to prosecutors, Jamie Lee Komoroski did not have a plea agreement in place when she came forward to the judge and pleaded guilty on all of these charges. Now, her sentence, 25 years. Now, that was basically the maximum sentence for Komoroski, even though it was still at the judge's discretion. The April 2023 drunk driving accident that claimed the life of a bride on her wedding day, Samantha Miller, and severely injuring her new groom, Eric Hutchinson, and his brother, Ben Garrett. Komoroski faced 2 felony DUI charges with bodily injury, felony DUI with resulting in death, and reckless homicide. We learned that Komoroski was 3 to 4 times over the alcohol limit after visiting several bars, and he consumed at least 6 drinks before crashing into the back of the wedding party's low-speed vehicle on Folly Beach, ejecting all the riders and killing Miller. For almost 3 hours, we heard from family members of the victims, heart-wrenching stories, as you just heard a little bit of it earlier. Unbelievable love and loss from all of these family members. At one point, Samantha Miller's mom, Lisa, demanding justice for her daughter, and her husband, Eric, who is still suffering from the accident, says he wished it was him who died.
I feel like I'm stuck in hell. I wish every day that I died. Do you know what it's like to vow to protect your wife and to do anything for her, and then to lose her hours after that?
And Jamie Komoroski, for her part, did stand up, apologize for killing Miller and injuring Hutchinson and his brother. She took responsibility for the crimes, and she also had family members present to speak on her behalf, as well as her sponsor, who came forward from Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, Komoroski is going to report to the South Carolina Department of Corrections to start serving her time for these crimes. And I have to say, as she was led away from the courtroom, you could hear on the other side of the door her crying and howling at one point from the other side of the door. Now, a spokesperson for the family of Samantha Miller came forward afterwards and spoke, as did Eric Hutchinson, her new husband. Samantha Miller, the victim, her husband, came out to speak as well, and they both agreed that this sentence for 25 years for Jamie Komoroski was it was a surprise, a welcome surprise that it was that high. But of course, they all said it could never, ever take the place of having Sam back in their lives. I'll send it over to Claire Weber now. She has more from the victims and the families.
And Samantha Miller's new groom, Eric Hutchinson, was also thrown from the low-speed vehicle when Komoroski crashed into them. He says the last thing he remembers is his wife, Samantha, saying she never wanted their wedding night to end. And he says he kissed her on her forehead before the night goes dark. Police say Komoroski was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone when she hit the low-speed vehicle, and her blood alcohol level was 3 times over the legal limit. Eric Hutchinson's brother-in-law Benjamin and nephew Brogan were driving the newlyweds from the reception to their rental. Family members say all 4 of them were ejected from the vehicle and into the roadway. Eric Hutchinson telling the court that his family was not hit, they were ran through. He shared part of Samantha Miller's vows, saying she would love him until the day she died.
I wish I died that night, so she didn't have to go alone. Do you know what it's like to vow to protect your wife and to do anything for her, and then to lose her hours after that? Something nobody should have to go through.
Eric Hutchinson says physically and emotionally he lives in pain every day. Benjamin and Eric's family remember them both being rushed to the emergency room following the crash, suffering from broken bones, head injuries, and enduring a long road to recovery. We also heard from Eric's nephew Brogan, who was hurt in the crash. He says the decision to drive drunk was not reckless, it was selfish and cruel. Eric Hutchinson says today still does not bring closure from this tragedy, but both families were surprised and pleased with Komoroski's maximum sentencing. Working for you live in downtown Charleston, Claire Weber, News 4.